All right, we're ready. We're ready. Welcome on, Kevin up in the corner, Jen on the right side, and Jonny down there on the bottom. Welcome in. Say hi.
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 Kevin's in his garage cleaning, but he graciously took some time from cleaning. Who's still putting on pants? I knew there was a chance that Phil and Darren would not be able to answer right now. I kind of banked on that. So I knew at least 3 of them would be able to. But yes, Joe says favorite part of the song. I don't know what is your favorite part of the song in United? Maybe. I'm not sure if that's the question or not.
Is there an answer other than yeah?
No.
Yeah.
That's like the only answer.
No. So I decided last minute to ask any band members who could come on if they wanted to come on today to celebrate Madness. It's been 1 year of the re-release of Madness. That's a whole nother story, but I'm going to keep...
Yeah, that's thrown me off. I'm like, wait. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I decided that I wanted to celebrate 1 year of Madness for when we officially got the rights back to our record and it was re-released on 11/11, which is a whole story.
Better anyway.
I know. Like, I don't even remember the arbitrary date that...
It was 3/25, and I know because it was the day before my birthday, so now I don't have to share the glory.
There you go. We won't release anything on your birthday. Because we didn't get to
like
pick
one
that.
year you announced tour on my birthday.
I probably didn't even know it was your birthday yet.
You did. You were like, I didn't know what to do. I had to announce it, but I also knew it was your birthday, and I just didn't know what to do.
Yeah. So that, like, I will say, like, there was an earlier release in 2022, and it was in March, but it wasn't under our, what should I say? How should I say it? It wasn't under our control, and we didn't have all the rights.
We didn't own the masters at that time.
Yes. A very bad label that we will not talk about anymore, and we've found creative ways of not talking about it. So today's the 1 year anniversary of us getting our shit back, which is even kind of a bigger deal to me, to be honest, because I just never even want to think about that shit that happened. Like, it's fine. But yeah, I have a lot.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it really was crazy. It was super crazy. And I'm so glad it's over. Here's to owning your own stuff. Exactly.
Which that was, to be fair, that was the only time we have not owned our stuff, was that like 10 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arbitrary date. So Jessica had a great question. It was already one of the questions that I was going to ask. But I have many, you guys know, you saw the questions I have. I have many different versions of what's your favorite song, because I want to know some of the answers to these questions, because I don't know some of the answers. And so I think, like, I would like to start with, like, what's your favorite song on the record, but what is the overall favorite song? And then what is your favorite part that you contributed? Like, Jonny, what your favorite guitar part or solo or whatever. Jen, your favorite keyboard or vocal, or both. Kevin, your favorite mix. You know what I mean? Whoever wants to go first.
Gotcha. I would say right now my favorite overall is Bleed. Just because it's a jam.
It is.
It's like one riff and like 3 chords, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
In terms of guitar stuff, that's hard because I'm split between K-Bye, because I just like love that solo, and then on Descent, the instrumental solo section, just because I got to do like 8 tracks of just crazy fucking guitar sounds and whammy craziness, and so yeah. Oh yeah, and all the weeps. All the weeps in that song.
Yeah.
Yes. I forgot about the weeps in that song.
That's my favorite guitar part is
So yeah,
Descent.
I guess I would say Descent for like guitar work, just because it was very, very orchestral.
Nice. I didn't see that coming, actually. Jen or Kevin, you can answer. I will answer too.
You won't see mine coming either then.
Because I know Descent's one of your absolute favorites.
Yeah, Descent was to me a masterpiece. Just the layering, the parts, the way it built, all the different layers of all the shit, and it was a really fun, challenging, and enjoyable song to track and mix.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
Indeed.
mine.
That's it. Both mix and overall favorite.
Yeah, it was just it may not be the best song on the record or the most commercial or viable or playable on the radio or whatever it is, but even the video that Lauren did
Oh yeah.
is just absolutely phenomenal. And
Yeah.
I'm so surprised that song did not just blast off as just being this blast off.
I thought you
as
said that
being
on
this
purpose.
No, pun
Well,
not.
We didn't throw the marketing into it that we did the other songs.
Yeah.
Well, it would be real nice one day if it just kind of gets noticed, because it's really it's a masterpiece, no question.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I misunderstood how you asked those questions originally. So I have like my opinion on all of them, plus a couple different categories that I would like to put out, but I already have them really quick, so it won't take long.
No, that's fine because I have favorite guitar parts, bass parts, drum
Yeah,
parts.
yeah.
I have all of them. So
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do
So-
that.
I didn't do that either.
It's okay. It's okay.
Erin
You
and
can.
I are very thorough. I would say overall, my favorite like representative song of the album has always been just a smidge ahead of everything else, Run. I think it really grasps a good rounded, whatever culmination of what we do as a group. I think, yeah, but it's like everything else is a close second.
Right.
My first
my-
song to mix live is Run. I don't
Yeah.
know
Now my favorite song to play live is Goddess, because it's such a different vibe than the way I hear it on the record. It's just a great one to jam on stage.
Yeah.
It's just a different experience to play it live. I would say my favorite guitar part is Descent for sure. Drums, that roll in Run is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I think.
That's true.
Vocally, the thing I'm most proud of is at the end of Break, that little "Won't Get Me to Break." Like, that's probably one of my most proud vocal moments I've ever done ever. And I was really grateful you guys let me do that.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it.
You know, it's pretty
And-
fun is nobody ever gets told that they cannot do something.
Yeah.
For the
Well, I guess
most
I'm glad I did it and you guys liked it and kept it.
Right.
But the point of that is if, okay, let's use Randy's song for an example. You wanted
Yeah.
to recut a couple of measures of a piano because you weren't happy with it. I guess I could have easily said, sorry, not taking my time. What's there is fine. But how fucking horrible would that be?
Yeah.
Right.
So
You got to live with
if you asked to do something, or Jonny asked to do something, or Erin, or anybody asked to do something, they've obviously fucking thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we decided that it's important enough for them to take their time to do it. Why would any of us ever say no? And then when it's brilliant, it's like, yeah, great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the most meaningful song for me is probably Harass, because it was the first song I wrote. And it's just really meaningful to me. It was during one of my darkest times ever. And production wise, I really, really like what the guys specifically did with Joker, because I had a vision for it and I couldn't properly express it, and they eventually captured it. And I'm really proud of what they did.
Yeah. Absolutely. Did you? Oh, you did say your favorite vocal part. Did you say what your
Yeah.
favorite keyboard part is?
Oh, probably Descent as well.
Really? That's so funny. I actually did not think that would be.
What do you think my answer would be after that?
I didn't know, but Descent is not it.
Well, it's the most like it's the most classical we've ever gone, and
Yeah.
I do like the way the guitar and the piano like work together as well. I love that. So
Yeah.
yeah. And I
It's
didn't even
just-
write that part. Phil did.
Yeah.
Well, I expounded on it, but he wrote most of that keyboard part.
He wrote everything in that song except for the lyrics.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And that one has my favorite, like, this is going to sound so stupid because like the bass line is one note in the verses, but it's my favorite moment of bass because you can
Yeah.
hear it so well and you can hear the tones so clearly. That is my favorite spot on the whole record for bass. But it's one
Yeah.
note.
Yeah, one of my favorite bass parts on that record is just that boom where he slides up in that break. It's like every time I'm like, that's so fucking cool.
Yeah. And it's
And
so
honestly,
stupid.
the harmonies on the chorus on that are really cool too, because you got that. That was the first time
The
we
drone.
tried doing like a drone.
Yeah.
We've kind of done that recently with Your Highness as well, but that was the first time we did that, I think.
And for those of you who don't know what a drone harmony is, Jonny is stuck now forever as a drone because he's a very good drone. And he has
He's
very
got
good
great
ear.
pitch.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got a great ability to stay on pitch because what a drone harmony is it's usually the root of a section of a song or the song, and it just stays there. So if you listen closely in like the chorus of Descent, we're going every night, da, 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 da. But Johnny's just go every night
Which is very
without
difficult to do.
warning, it never like. That's hard work, okay? And he has to now do the same thing in Your Highness
Yeah,
because
breaks
I
your
liked.
brain.
Well, he's playing something different.
Yeah, you're moving around on your instrument, yet staying totally the same in your harmony.
Good job, Johnny.
Yeah, good job on that because it's
You're
not
the best
easy.
one for the job.
And he ended up as a drone for Your Highness too because I liked his part
it
better.
was your part, and then you made him take it.
I'm like, I'm sorry, it's a better melody.
Yeah, it's easier to sing for me on that section.
Oh, that's
so
good.
It works out.
Yeah. But that's really interesting that like I love Descent, don't get me wrong, but it's actually not one of my favorites, like in any way. Like I don't know because it's not music I would listen to. Like I don't seek out music like that. I love it, but it's like way down on the list for me in terms of favorites. But
Well, you don't like stuff that's usually you don't like stuff that's slow and chill.
I don't. And not that it's chill. I wouldn't call that song chill.
It's not necessarily chill, but it's down tempo for sure.
Yeah, it has no chill, but actually with between like key changes and then that bridge that Phil wrote, like yeah, that song has no town tempo. I like that better. No chill at all.
There's
But
a
yeah,
lot of angst song actually.
yes.
For me, it makes me very anxious.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's supposed to.
Yeah, it really does kind of
It's
incite
about
that.
anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down tempo. Oh, I see what happened there, Trish. I see. I see it now. But yeah, that honestly, like, I think my favorites change day to day, but K-Bye has always been one of my absolute favorites. It's my favorite solo. It's my favorite. There's a reason for that in a couple ways because like half the song is a solo section. And like it's actually really super heavy on instrumentation, and I actually really
And a
love
big
that.
part of it is just scales going up really slowly.
Yeah, a lot of it is just that.
Yeah. And it's just really instrumentally interesting, and also it has a normal type of structure, but also it doesn't. And it's like Gemini
Because of
for me.
chorus.
Yeah, it's like Gemini for me in that way. There's no like super obvious structure to it, and I think that's why I love it so much, is because it was so out of the box for us. So for K-Bye, I think is still one of my overall favorites, if not like way the hell up there. And like you, Jen, you said everything else is a close second. like I have a whole category that's a close second, which is like Goddess and Joker, and all of the ones Jen wrote, and Harass. I should have had the titles sitting in front of me, but it's blocked right now. Hold on. Okay, cool. I can move
Oh,
this.
I will say while you're doing that, another close second vocal thing I'm really proud of is that pre-chorus in Run.
That just yeah.
I canceled the stream because I didn't feel like streaming, and I worked on that, and that's what came out.
So that's my favorite thing that you did vocally. is that it's in the second. If anybody wants to know, we've listened to it on stream because I'll finish the song using the track and then be like, you guys got to listen to this shit that Jen did because it's so beautiful. And it's in the second pre-chorus of Run, right? Second pre-chorus.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do what I can live. I can only do one note, but or one part.
Just an
I take the part.
like I hear you doing it too.
I know. Every time I hear it, I'm like, I wish I could do this other harmony,
but listen, we
I'm
should
doing so much at that time.
Yeah,
Well,
I was
and
gonna
then
say.
and then I still jump straight to the whoa. Like
yeah,
a
that's
biz
the
higher.
hard. That's the hard part is like trying to hit that section and then get back to the woes.
Yeah.
And I tried to do it without doing that, and it sounds so empty. Like I have to sing that high whoa. So I just do it
Yeah.
somehow.
And now that I have the track listing in front of me, honestly, there's too many runner-ups. Like I can't, like at this point I have a favorite, like a couple favorites and then like a couple like meh. Everything else is in the middle and I love it all. Like I can't really prioritize it. That's why I was like, I asked it in all the social media posts earlier and then I was like, that was dumb. I can't even answer it. Like how can I
saw
expect...
that. You were like, I don't know why I asked that question. I can't answer it.
Can't answer it. I don't know. So I had a couple other questions regarding favorites, but it's more in depth, not just kind of surface level. And I kind of wanted to know, like, what song has your favorite, like, background story? Was there a part of the song that you contribute that you're, like, really super emotionally connected to that has, like, a specific backstory, or part of the process that you're really, really emotionally invested with, if that makes sense?
I think I kind of
They're
already
like, no.
said it. I think for me it's Harass because it was
Yeah.
the first thing I ever wrote, and it literally like I wrote it at like 4 a.m. I mean, I've had a lot of dark times in my life, but this one like really emotionally hit me. I just had a falling out with like at the time my best friend, who I had grown up with. I'd known her since I was 7. And it was really, really bad. And not only that, like another best friend of mine, I lost because of that. And it was just, I didn't know where I stood with the other friends in that group. It was really, really emotional and really difficult for me. And so that's the one I have the strongest connection to.
Anybody?
I mean, for me, it's Run because I don't get emotionally attached to very many of the songs. I look at it as in a different way than you all do. I look at it as a bigger picture, not as one individual thing or why you wrote the lyrics the way you did or what the song is about. But because Run became sort of about, or not sort of about, but became about Kelly, I think that one kind of, it hits me the hardest time that we play it. And like I said earlier, for some reason, it's one of the harder songs for me to mix live. I think there's too much stuff happening in the same frequency range. And it's really hard to get good separation on that song live. For me, maybe nobody else notices. I'm sure they don't. But for me, it's just a hard song to do that with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I'm probably emotionally connected to that one the most, probably of all of our songs.
Yeah.
Understandable.
And I'm singing in a totally different range than normal. That song sits higher in my range than any other song. So that might contribute to that, actually.
Yeah, that one, and then the opposite of that is Your Highness. The first verse.
I'm like,
your voice is so low.
I know.
There's
I can't
We
project
probably
it.
could have raised that one, honestly.
No, because then it would have been uncomfortable to jump the octave.
Yeah, no, it needs.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I could have done it, but yeah, I didn't want to raise it any higher because then on a bad day, that is not a good song. And as a single, we're going to be playing it every show for a really long time. So I did not want to risk that. These are all the things that go into my brain when we're choosing keys because I've done it to myself.
I'm working on nailing that song live. It's not easy.
No, it's a weird song. Jonny, how do you feel about it? Not Your Highness, a song. The question.
I would probably say Descent.
God damn.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just yeah, lyrically and like vibe wise, it was very, what's the word I'm looking for? It was very fitting for like the time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when it was being written, it was everyone was kind of going through this
Yeah.
anxiousness and
Dark
like
pandemic.
yeah, and it was like so yeah, that's just a thing that I think it really resonated with me more than the other ones. I also have a lot of just general anxiety, so that one was yeah, I
Does
just
it make
relate
you
to that one
more
very much.
anxious or does it make you less anxious? The song.
I would say it probably makes me less anxious.
Sometimes acknowledging the anxiety in something helps you feel less anxious, and I think that's what that song
Yeah,
does.
You know,
right.
Interesting.
that whole entire record was written under anxiety.
Most of it
Yeah.
anyway. There
Yeah.
were
The
only
whole record
well, no,
was
3 or 4 of them did happen prior to the pandemic, but we had to finish it during a pandemic.
right. So the whole, to me, the whole record as a whole was very
Yeah.
um, just weird.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Just weird. No
And-
other way to describe it. It
Yeah.
was just fucking weird.
Yeah.
The weird time.
And
Yeah.
for me, it's very similar answer. I would include Descent in this for me, specifically Descent and Bleed, because Descent was written. Well, I wasn't on stream, but Phil was on stream, and when Phil presented this demo to us on stream, I had started writing something in a notebook somewhere, and he started playing this demo, and I was like, "Oh shit! I already wrote this song. Like I had the exact set of lyrics that needed to go with this song, this demo that he was playing on our band channel." Because for those of you who don't know, there's a lot of you here who have not been around since 2020 on Twitch. We used to stream 4 nights a week on the band channel, and every single person took a turn. And so
We did too, didn't we?
Did you forget that, Kevin?
clearly,
I miss Phil's streams. I wish
I
Phil
do
would
too.
stream again.
I do too.
Loved Phil's streams.
so Phil would do production streams and he would present demos to us sometimes. And then he went through a period where he made us wrestling intros, which was fun. But one of those early streams was he presented what he started working on that weekend, and it was the demo for Descent. And I ran upstairs and I found this notebook, and I basically wrote the song while Phil was streaming. I wish that I had also been streaming, but for me, that one is special because I physically wrote it while he was on, and I kept asking him to replay parts so I could finish writing it. And I think that's where the quote comes from. The Erin, what do you want? It's like a quote in one of the channels. Because I kept saying, no, go back. Like I'm writing. I need you to go back. And then Bleed was the same way. We wrote Bleed on stream. Darren and because that was
Chat wrote a lot of the lyrics.
yeah. I liked because that was Jonny, Darren, and Phil. Yeah, in general, that one. I think that's a question. I guess
I do think that
Bleed.
that was Darren's.
No, I know, but I'm saying the demo.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
have
think
no
it was
idea.
just Phil and Darren.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
They did a lot of demos together because they were quarantined together at the
Yeah.
studio.
Darren, Phil, and I spent pretty much the entire quarantine together
Yeah.
in the studio because Darren was living in the motorhome behind the studio, and Bill and I would just show up and we would park our cars out back by the motorhome, go in the studio, which wasn't supposed to be open, and we would lock all the doors
Yeah.
and stay in there like doing nothing but writing and recording and demoing.
Yeah. And I wasn't sure where that demo came from. So I actually accidentally asked a question. It's fine. Everything's fine. We all learn. But yeah, Bleed, that was Darren's melody. And I really liked the idea. He was just repeating phonetically. Not gonna. I think it was the not gonna tell you. Like, na 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 da 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 da. Like, he just kept repeating that same thing. And I'm like, okay, but why can't I do that? Like, I think that's actually really cool. I never do that. And I thought I was... making it easy on myself doing that, but then it just fucked me up more.
No, that's one of the hardest songs.
It's one of
to
the
remember the words
hardest.
to.
Yeah, it's one of the absolute hardest ones to get right lyrically. But that one actually is special because I sat here and did a production stream before I had any of this equipment. I had 2 computers. One was running GarageBand or something on a MacBook that is dead now. And the other was the other laptop running the stream. And it was absolutely bonkers the way I made that work. But it was a production stream of sorts. And everybody could see my GarageBand, my vintage MacBook from 2010. Everybody could see my screen and everything. What, Kev?
The one that runs the live rig is from 2008, the very, very first MacBook Pro Generation 1.
Yeah.
Still running the live rig to this day.
Trying.
It's doing it.
It's doing it. It is doing it.
Yeah.
And so I personally had more questions. I do have more questions, but there are other fantastic questions that I have put together from the community. So I do kind of want to move forward with that.
Quick, to Joe, I think maybe your question is how many demos were there and how many ended up on the record. I don't think we cut any demos from Madness. I think we used all of them.
No, the demos were the templates to make the song.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, we didn't cut any. Basically, we didn't. It's not like we had a bunch of songs and cut some.
Yeah,
we used them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did not have any.
With the exception of Sugar Mama.
Yeah.
But
That's
we
the
turned that
only
into
exception.
Something else.
Yeah.
We did use it.
Technically.
Yeah, I feel like that almost just didn't get used.
Yep.
We were like.
It almost got cut. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the only exception to that, was that there was a demo that I wrote a song called Sugar Mama to, and I didn't like it. And I was like, guys, I'm not sold on this. We scrapped everything I wrote. Darren took a shot at it and rewrote all the melody, all the lyrics, and I liked it. Everybody likes it. We recorded the whole thing. And then I did my vocal tracks, and Jen was like, I love you, but I don't think this sounds good. Like, you sound good, but this isn't the right key for you. And because of where we were in the process of all this, I was gonna eat it. It's fine. I sound fine. I wasn't comfortable, but I sounded fine. And so we took it back, and after I think Kevin heard the vocal, we almost just cut it, because at this point we have to now re-record every single instrument other than drums. So we talked about not doing it, and I actually don't remember how we ended up being like, nope, we're gonna do it, we're gonna push it. Like, I don't remember what that process was, to be honest.
I think they just went in and were determined to get the drums and the bass done. I don't know.
Well, the drums didn't need to be done.
Did it. Oh, not the drums, but the bass. Yeah, I think they just went in and did it.
Yeah.
I was like, I can do it this week, and Johnny's like, I can do mine, and so we all just kind of did it.
Yeah, that one was the only one that almost got cut, but it wasn't because of, like, we didn't finish it. It was,
right.
Oops.
And I did have one other song written, but I don't think I never intended it to be on Madness. Diamond had been sitting in there for a while, but it was never one of those songs where I was like, this would be good for this record. It wouldn't have been.
Yeah, Sugar Mama ended up being United, which is the actual story behind the yeah at the end and why it's so messed up. Johnny, could you explain the yas at the end?
Yeah.
So yeah, we were recording backing vocals for a bunch of songs in like one day, me and Bill, just for like my parts, and I don't even know why, but it was at the end of
screaming.
Yeah, it was at the end of United. We thought it'd be great to just put in me doing the yeah at the end, and we like harmonized it. And I'm trying to remember why we even did it. There had to have been a reason. And yeah, we just never changed it after we changed the key of the song. So we just left it in, so it's like way off key, and it just
makes it even better.
Not tuned either. I think it's just like
like how many of it?
We should redeem that right now.
Is it
that alert?
Is it 3 different yas?
Yeah, I think so.
That's what I thought. There are 3 unharmonized Johnnies. Just yeah, like
I mean, they
Yeah.
are harmonized, just
I
not in
think-
the right key.
right.
I think it was a David Lee Roth joke or something we were talking about.
And then it made it
But,
into a mix, and
yeah.
all of us were like, okay, but it's great.
And that's where I just take stupid shit like that and just leave it.
So it was a little quiet because I have my audio settings different, but they did
There
just
it
redeem
is.
it. Yeah, they did just redeem it, but my stuff's a little bit lower today because of how I have to run Messenger through it. So don't mind. It's a little quieter than normal.
Kevin and I just did that in the Alter Ego Rehab song where like I accidentally played the wrong part and you just left it there.
No. we
Oh,
copied
the ending.
I started to play it and then I was like, oh, that was the wrong part. And you're like, no, let's keep it.
Are you talking
I
about the
don't know
ending?
what- It was a part that I plucked from. I thought it was a part I plucked from one part and stuck it in the ending.
You started to, ended up doing
Oh.
that. But the reason we did is because I accidentally started playing that part when we recorded. And I was like, oh, that was the wrong part.
But it was so wrong. It was right.
Yeah.
There's somebody that happened in Paradise as well. I was like, oh, I played a wrong note. And you're like, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't. But this actually brings me to a question Trish thought of while we've been talking. Oh, Josuefi is rating.
Sweppy.
Josuefi, the Wiggle Queen is here. The tiny, how dare. The tiny Wiggle Queen is here. Hello, Josuefi. How is your stream? Welcome in. Y'all, I don't have to introduce y'all to Josuefi.
I put your sticker on the fridge, Josuefi, with a magnet.
Yay.
Yes, thank you for the stickers.
I can't see the chat or anything. All
Yeah.
I can see.
No.
Johnny?
I was about to tell you the question and then we got a raid.
Okay.
Kevin, you must read my mind.
Yeah.
No, I will. And thank you, Joey, for the biddies. Thank you so very much. Yes, I'll hail the Wiggle Queen.
Johnny, that's all I see.
No, you're good. You're fine. So Trish had the question. This is a 2-part question. One's for Kevin, one's for the rest of us. Kevin's question is, how does your brain hear the random elements that you end up adding to songs? And then the rest of us have to answer what's your favorite piece of Kevin fuckery from Madness that was added?
You know, I really can't.
You
I
just
don't
you
know
hear
how-
things.
I don't know how. Okay, here's a quick example that doesn't have nothing to do with ELSIE BINX other than it's the ELSIE BINX band that backs up Randy Riddle and Alter Ego Rehab. We had a song that was pretty much done. Randy had the melody and the lyrics, and then I put a trumpet on it. And it totally, he's like, I have to rewrite the whole song now. But I think everybody will agree it was for the better. How did I hear that it needed a trumpet? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, how did I know that bagpipes and Descent were going to be awesome? Didn't know.
Oh yeah.
I forgot
That's
there's
right.
bagpipes.
When bagpipes are going to be dope right there. They were awesome. So
I think it's many decades of experience along with you just have a good ear for finding instrumentation, and when you're adding everything needs a reverse cymbal swell.
Yeah.
Everything.
And I feel like Kevin doesn't plan these things out. They just come to him as he's recording things or mixing things. They just happen.
it does. It just all of a sudden I'm like, oh, if I reverse this part right here, like Descent has that in the vocal. What is your line that you don't say? And I replace it with the reverse everything.
Oh yeah, and that last chorus.
The last chorus.
Yeah, you say something, but I took your vocal out.
It never fails. My thoughts go.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I don't know how I heard your thoughts go, but I just knew your thoughts. Nah.
My thoughts go. That's me every day. I wake up. That's exactly my thoughts go.
Yeah. I originally did not like that section. I was like, I don't like that, but it was because I was just so used to hearing it the other way.
Yeah.
Now I hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's sweet.
Hi Alex. Hi Tom. Also Tom, nobody would be upset if you jump into this call right now. Full permission if you would like to jump into this call right now. Just saying. Just saying.
Tom's face, that would be awesome.
Yeah, nobody would be upset if Tom jumped into this coal, right? I'm just saying.
I'd love to see Tom's face.
So some of the other questions from people in the community, we have.
Well, we didn't answer what our favorite
Oh, you're
fuckery
right.
was.
You're right. Good call.
Because I do have a favorite.
Yeah.
And it is the end of Joker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's the most fuckery ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
I don't know.
Ted, you want to tell us what that is?
One where I stole the
Oh yeah.
the Irish
The
band.
kids orchestra or whatever?
People always ask me who that is, and I'm like, it's nobody in the band. I don't know who it is.
It's a bunch of
I
children.
don't know who those people are. I was recording this Irish band from Chelsea or something, and just that whole conversation was so fucking dope. I'm feeling this and putting it at the end of the song. Holy shit. Awesome.
It
Yeah.
wasn't even a layered recording. It was just a recording of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was background. I just had a live mic and it was just, they were talking. It was fuckery.
Yeah. Man, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, that part right there is definitely one of my favorites. I would
Yeah,
say that or the
Yeah.
weird like staticness in Descent.
Oh,
is
yeah.
Really cool.
I think.
It's fun. You know what? The thing is, our band, not most bands can do that, but our band can get away with fuckery.
So much.
Most bands
Yeah.
can't get away with it because
Right. Well,
I don't know that this is considered fuckery, but it might have to be the chainsaw. Is that a
oh,
fuckery?
yeah.
that's fuckery.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it's also in the lyrics, so it makes total sense.
Yeah.
So like
I
that's
think the
why
reason
yeah.
I think the reason we get away with it is because while we take ourselves seriously, we don't take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we take ourselves seriously, but we like to pleasure
fun.
our. Yeah, we like to make ourselves happy. I
Yeah.
like to do shit like that because I enjoy it, and you guys enjoy it, so that's a win-win for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
so-
think you learned that very
Guys-
early on about me, even just me alone. Anytime you did any type of fuckery very early on, I was like, absolutely, more of that.
Yeah.
More.
It's very Beatles-esque to have
Yes.
that weird kind of shit in there.
Very
Yeah.
much into.
I always like,
I'm into Electric Light Orchestra, Jeff Lynne,
oh yeah.
anything Queen, Beatles,
Shenanigans, yeah.
any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, definitely ELO, the Beatles. I like reversing stuff. I like blending forwards and backwards together. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever can be done that's silly but cool.
Yeah.
One of my favorite fuckeries of all of ELSIE BINX's stuff is Kevin's bah, bah, bah.
Blah blah blah.
And that became a joke because we couldn't figure out how to start the song. The song just started. It's kind of like Fame, how it just starts in your face, but it was a lot more than that. And so we had to figure out what an intro was, and we eventually, I think it was supposed to be a guitar that we were going to do that with, just bar chords, and he did it just in place as a placeholder to this is where it's going to go. And I'm like, okay, but can you do that in the right key, because I love that. Like,
Yeah. And anytime one of us says something like weird or stupid in a recording, it ends up in the song.
yeah.
I think Demon starts out with me going, okay.
Yeah. Is it the Whitesnake cover that has the conversation? Yes.
Oh,
No, it's
yeah.
not about cups. It's about
I mean,
so what?
How about how about the end of That's What She Said?
That's what he's talking
when-
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden, nobody has any idea, but I'm just recording away.
Yeah. So I was in the booth. So we were
Butternut squash.
Yeah, we were gonna take a lunch break. And Tay was in the studio doing backups that day, and she offered to run over to Walmart across the street to grab a lunch. And I was like, I don't know, something. And I'm just on the phone with Tay, and Kevin recorded the whole thing. And I'm like, I need like something light, like soup. I want to eat, but like I need something light so that way it's not sitting too heavy. And so she's in the soup aisle just rattling off soups. And she asked about butternut squash, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, you just make sure they didn't add butter in it." And Kevin thought he was making a funny joke by saying, "Butternut squash, it probably doesn't have butter in it." And I'm like, "No, Kevin, it probably doesn't have butter in it." but I need her to double check. And so it just became this stupid track at the end of Still of the Night, which is everywhere.
Me every time.
Yeah.
And I know it's there, but I forget about it.
And it's a hidden track at the end of Still of the Night on That's What She Said. And that I think became the most fucker. I don't think that we'll ever beat that, honestly.
I don't know.
So stupid. So if you're
Never
ever listening.
say never.
Yeah, if you're ever listening and you forget to turn that song off or you're wondering why it's still playing, you'll just randomly
shit out of me. The first time I heard it, I was just listening through the album and I didn't know it was there. So it's
We
like the
didn't
album
tell
ended,
anybody.
and then you're
It's
just kind of
just-
like sitting there in your car. It's like just like thinking about it's like, all right, sounds good. Then all of a sudden, like full blast, because I had my radio cranked. I just hear voices. What the fuck is that?
It's me and
Like,
Tay.
who the fuck is here?
Yeah.
I had somebody actually call me, and they were like, "Dude, you need to check because cake, and you left some talking on it, like it goes for like, and, then it's just and I'm like, that is absolutely not a mistake.
The fact, okay, but like how many people that goes through a mistake like that? It's never a mistake. But we did manage to keep it from everybody till the end, because nobody except me, Kevin, and maybe Phil knew about it.
Probably Tom knew about it. Maybe
Not the Tom that just joined, the Tom the mastering guy, but Tom just joined. Hi.
What up?
What up, dude?
he just blew in.
He just blew in.
Tom.
Uh-oh.
It's the star of Binge.
Jen, can you do me a favor and go landscape for me? Because that might actually make everybody else bigger. Yes. Yes, perfect. Well,
wait a second.
no, it's fine, Jen.
see
Everybody's
nothing wrong with
everybody's happy.
Just
Nothing
titties.
wrong.
Okay.
Y'all. So Tom is in the bottom right corner, like I can point to him on this screen. A lot of you might not even know what Tom looks like if you've only been around for a year or so, but this is Tom. This is who killed
This
Phil.
is me.
This is the bass player who's on That's What She Said, an Electric Baby, and everything about it.
I'm not on That's What She Said.
Oh, you're right. I think I just like want you to be.
I wish I was.
Yeah.
But
I
Yeah,
think,
we all wish you were.
yeah. I was like, wait, that's not right. But it's okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I know everybody loves Tom.
He's our resident
All of our
serial
tours.
killer.
What?
Yo,
Nobody talk
tours.
all at the same fucking time. I can't tell what you're saying if you talk at the same time. Just FYI. So I don't know what anybody just said.
Erin's brain just went meow.
Yeah.
I said he's our resident serial killer.
Oh, yes. Yes. Also, Tom, your camera's very, very clear. Like, it's like
I used
extra
to do
clear.
this for a living for a second.
That's true. I forget you literally were streaming before I even knew what streaming was.
Yeah.
That's true. What did you, now it's going to be a Tom interview. What did you stream?
We did a lot of Batman content that can still be found in the ethers of the internet, but we did a lot of Batman content and talked to a lot of like big name comic book artists and writers and all that.
Wow.
That's dope.
It was pretty cool.
That is very fucking cool. Wow.
I was also the butternut squash though. That's probably my favorite shenanigans on any of the albums at all. Like I the same thing happened the first time I was going through learning all the EBX stuff. I was listening to the album and I was noodling on something on the bass, and then all of a sudden the butternut squash thing comes up. It scared the shit out of me.
It always pays off when somebody else tells me I scared the shit out of them. It pays off every time. But for anybody wondering, so before Tom joined, he's Batman Bass Slap in the chat, just so everybody knows. But
You should just change your name to EBX Tom.
I probably should.
You really should.
EBX Kill Phil is better.
Like that.
And so yeah, this actually goes for anybody who wants to ask Tom any questions as well. I really just one of my questions that I personally had was, what was your favorite video to make? And mine is forever going to be Binge. I don't know that that's ever going to change for me, simply because Tom got to kill Phil. But
I'm trying to remember what our videos are.
So there aren't many like before you, to be honest, Jen. We only did like one video before like 2018.
Actually,
Like,
and I had kind of joined the family for Say You Will. You had invited me.
yeah.
And I was like, I don't think I'm comfortable enough with these people to be in a music video.
Yeah. So really, it's like everything about it is where like the new era of us doing music videos comes from, because I did not have the resources or the time or the energy to plan and shoot music videos. Like, that was not something I could do ever. Like, this is the first time in my life that I've had the energy to actually prioritize music videos. But it's kind of like, you can't not do that now. Armut says, can't wait for Kill Phil Part 2.
Joey is fucking with Trish.
Of course, always.
Always.
But honestly, like, I wanted a way to shoot Your Highness, so that way I could be like, Tom, I need you to come and just be creepy in the background again. We're not gonna kill anybody. But
I mean, he could still.
Yeah, it's
we haven't
true.
finished it.
It's true. I think everybody's just jealous. I get the question a lot, Tom, if you were actually chasing him with a real chainsaw.
Yes, I
Yeah.
was.
And he's not kidding. He really was.
And
I was
Jen-
very concerned.
Jen was very, Jen and Erin and Trish were all very, very concerned that I still had an active chain on the chainsaw.
Yeah.
And
I think I was the most vocal about it. I didn't know they were concerned because I was like, that's really dangerous. Please don't do that.
I said, don't worry. I'm a semi-professional lumberjack. This is gonna be
That didn't help me.
Well, so when Tom and I had originally talked about it in like pre-production, like, hey, are you comfortable doing this? He's like, yeah. We'll just take the chains off of a chainsaw. We'll run the motor though. It'll make the sound. It'll create some, some
He was
smoke.
lying to you.
You lied. And so we get there to shoot it. We shot it in like August, I think, of last year. August or September, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was August 11th.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And so it was we get there and the chain's still on it, and I didn't really question it. I'm like, oh, maybe he's still gonna just take it off of it, whatever. And we start to try to do it, and he's not taking the chain off. And he's like, it's fine, everything's fine, you can trust me. I'm like, okay. Like, please don't. Please. Phil is really good at hurting himself.
It's just Phil.
He's good enough at hurting himself, let alone being chased by a damn real chainsaw that's on. And I did release recently, on the 1-year anniversary of Binge, I released the 1-minute clip of, and it's my favorite thing. We had virtually no bloopers from Binge. Bloopers from Binge. Virtually none. We shot everything that we used. We shot that, if for anybody who doesn't know, we shot that music video in like 4 hours flat. Like, we did not shoot anything we didn't need. We had some takes of the chase that didn't work, but I wouldn't call them bloopers. They just weren't good takes. But the only blooper was the one I released, and it's the one where the chainsaw would not turn on. And Phil's like, oh no, everybody's looking at me. Tom just goes, yeah. Yep. And then in walks Darren's chainsaw, which I can't even pretend to do with my mouth, but I can't. It's fantastic though. Darren, I was at first I thought Jonny was gonna try to do the chainsaw noise because you put your hand up. I'm like, do
That's
it.
a special chainsaw device that he blows into for chainsaw
Yeah.
noise. Yeah.
It's my chainsaw kazoo.
I wish, okay, but like that'd be fantastic. I would love a good chainsaw kazoo.
Can we still do the kazoo idea we were talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Andy ever got kazoos or not?
Damn it.
What are you even talking about?
Oh, you weren't there. I'm sorry, Erin. My bad.
It's okay.
We had the idea on the very last song And having the trumpet, or along with the trumpet,
It's
of the
for Alter Ego Rehab.
Got it.
Johnny Cash song, to have Alter Ego Rehab kazoos and pass them out before the song starts. It'll be the last song, so nobody can annoy us.
Yeah,
And,
Ring of Fire.
Okay, that's
everybody gets to do Ring of Fire with their own kazoo.
okay. That's actually really
That's
cool.
brilliant.
That's when Trish is in on it.
Brilliant. I'm in on it.
Trish is in on
That's-
it.
Yeah.
I don't think he ordered the kazoos, and I think he probably forgot about it. But
I mean,
Oh.
Amazon 2-day delivery.
Phil's here.
Phil, are you
Still
okay?
shit.
You good?
Blink if you're okay.
Blink if you're okay.
if you're okay.
Are you finally? Oh, just kazoos. Phil, if you want to join the call, it's clearly still active. I don't know how. We have perfect 4 right now, so I don't know what will happen when somebody
Right up
adds.
the middle if he does it.
I can switch back to the vertical.
Yeah,
No, he can do vertical, probably right up the middle.
yeah. But that kazoo idea, solid. I do have more questions, believe it or not. There were a handful more.
There were some really good questions in there.
Yeah. And so D had a great question. If you could pick one song from Madness for your favorite artist to cover, which one would it be?
Mine would be, I would want to hear Kelly Clarkson do Harass, because I think I would just like to hear her voice sing that song. I think it would fit her voice really well.
Yeah. And Joker too.
And Joker. Joker was inspired by a Kelly song. Yes, it was between those two, but I think Harass just because I've already heard her sing the song that inspired it. So
That's fair. That's fair.
That's hard.
That's a good question.
Thank you, Jessica. I appreciate you.
Maybe, I would say maybe Big Rec doing Binge might be interesting.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Especially if it was done like Big Rec style. That might be a cool one.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah. I'm an interesting guy.
I might need 2 different answers. I might need a Gaga answer and a Pink answer. And I'm actually I didn't get
that
a
would be
chance to
different.
think. Yeah, those are 2 different combos. So I have to figure it out. Johnny, what do you think?
Oh, just because this just popped into my head. Aerosmith doing Demons.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes
Yes.
perfect.
Absolutely.
That'd be sweet.
I love
Yeah.
that.
that's a good question, Addie, man.
Good choice.
I don't
Oh,
have
is
a
that what you
band
just
specifically, but it'd be cool to have like a electronic-ish version of Descent.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a 9 Inch Nails, like something like that version of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would honestly, this isn't my answer, but I like a 9 Inch Nails industrial version of Binge. Just because
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
lyrics lend
Yeah.
themselves so well to that culture. But gosh, for me, I actually don't. I could hear Gaga do any of these because I could just do it myself, and I haven't done that. So that makes me question, like, and Pink would also sing the shit out of something like Joker because of that octave range. So I would love, yeah, like that is so Pink too.
Pink and Kelly have very similar voices.
Yeah, I would love to hear Pink sing Run as well, honestly.
Joker should be a duet between Pink and Kelly.
It basically already is, Jen.
What I'm saying. Those ad libs at the end.
And I think Gaga, I'd like to sing Gaga as in Break. I don't think I've ever sang Gaga doing Break, but I think that one would lend it to Gaga's voice really well. Break and Bleed, actually.
What about Alice Cooper doing Binge?
That works too.
Yeah.
Wasn't it inspired by an Alice Cooper song?
Yeah. Feed My Frankenstein. Christopher Walken do it. Christopher Walken. Jesus.
Phil, just get on the call.
He might be in an airport.
Oh.
Yeah.
Phil, get on the call anyway.
Right after I was like, hey guys, keep it quiet, okay? He's in an airport. He's potentially in an airport. So that was a great question.
I like that question a lot.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh, thank you for organizing my shit. She's in my notes organizing the ones that I've already asked, which is amazing. Yeah, noisy women. We do be noisy, okay? I get it. It's me and Jen. We would be those noisy women.
I think he meant in the airport.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Listen,
We're only
I never
noisy
know.
together.
Yeah, exactly. We're very quiet separately, but together we are the noise. Do you still want to ask the question to Tom?
Yeah.
Trish she added her own question just for Tom.
And then everybody else's, how did it feel to watch it happen?
Okay, okay. So in all caps from Trish, Tom, how did it feel to kill Phil?
It was exhilarating. As a person that's been replacing Phil for almost a decade now, it felt great.
In every band,
Okay.
he just follows Phil in every band.
Okay,
Every
Tom,
single one.
can you explain that real quick?
The whole reason I got wrapped up into all of this is because I replaced Phil in a band that had Jonny in it. And then lots of projects since Phil plays bass on stuff because he lives in the studio and I'm an hour plus away. So I just like come in after the fact and knock my best impression of Phil out and nobody knows the difference. It's cool.
That is fantastic. Oh, thank you for the anonymous sub or the anonymous gift. Thank you so much. I like that Kevin is just walking around. He's having a walkabout over there. I love it.
There's lots of dogs to walk.
That's true. And then to everybody else, how did it feel to watch Tom kill Phil? Phil.
I mean,
it was really fun to watch.
it was fun, especially because I took over on blood duty.
Yes.
I wasn't
Oh,
bloodying
yeah.
Phil well enough. Okay,
I was like,
sorry.
no, man, you are not. This is not real enough. And then I went a little too real.
Jen's inner mother really came out in that situation. It was like, it wasn't just inner mother, it was like inner angry mother. She's like, just get it on there. And like, yeah.
I just like, well, I wouldn't say that was very motherly. I was flinging blood across his face. Like,
you
it's
were
more like
very-
angry babysitter, maybe.
Yeah. You're just like, you're not doing it right. We need to get this done. I'm over this. Let's go. And then when it was all done, Phil got up just like so defeated. Like he just put his arms up and like looked everywhere. I was like, buddy, you need to take a shower.
And he proceeded to
I'm
be
pretty sure he
stained.
got it in his eyes.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
was stained
Yeah.
red for probably a week.
I felt a little bit bad, but not too bad because it looked realistic.
Yeah, Phil
Here's a
said,
bit behind the scenes that people probably didn't pick up on, and I didn't pick up on either. Kev was watching us because he was doing the playback for us and stuff. So when Phil's propped up against the drum set dead, there's a point where he's got his hand up and he's headbanging dead. But if you watch me, I'm doing my foot kicking thing and I am just flinging dirt directly in Phil's face for a solid like 2 minutes. And he's such a freaking trooper. He just sat there. And he didn't move. He didn't nothing. And when we got done, Kevin was like, "Oh my god, that sucked so bad." Like, what, dude? And he's like, "You kicked so much dirt on him." I just turned around. He's covered. I'm like, "I'm sorry, bud."
dude, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I do love when Phil randomly does this in the
Yes.
last chorus.
Yeah, because people still don't notice it right away. And then they're like, wait, did I just see Phil doing this? Because I intercut it with other ones where he was not doing it. So it's fleeting in between different takes where he was and was not doing that. And thank you, Steph, for gifting a sub to Phil. I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
That reminded me.
Yeah, our Halloween show, Phil had tons of trauma when Erin was talking about putting blood on him, or I was gonna put the bloody face tattoo. He was like,
I was like, don't worry, I will not let Phil do that. Do not worry. Or Jen.
do not let Jen do that. to
Yeah.
me.
What were you gonna say, Jonny?
So after that binge video shoot, I don't know if you all were still there, but Tom's kid put on a Phil wig
Yes.
and he put
Yes, we were
on
there.
the mask,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't realize that he had done it. So I like turn around at one point and there's just this little tiny Phil with the mask on, like jumping on the trampoline, just like
Yes!
staring at us. Just like the creepiest fucking thing ever. I was like, what
He
the
looked just
hell?
like Phil.
He did.
Yeah. It was like a horror movie. It was just like a
I
little
kept thinking it
kid
was
in a
Phil.
mask bouncing on a trampoline staring at you.
Yeah, I was confused. I was like, is that I thought Phil was jumping on the trampoline with the mask
Like, why
on.
is he so tiny?
How did you get so small? Phil?
Everything, all of it was so confusing. That's fantastic though. I love it. We do have more questions. Yes, hi Seda. Yes, today is mad. Oh, my reverb wasn't on. Mad. Phil has a mini me. He does.
Oh,
Yeah.
He does.
crazy.
And honestly, like, what's funny about, I realized I didn't finish that question. It was great fun to watch those chase scenes go down with the GoPro, because we were watching them from our phones, because GoPros connect to the devices so you can monitor them. It was great fun for me to put GoPros on them and watch it all go down. The best part is that Tom never even touched Phil. It is all implied. I had to keep directing, although y'all were like not finishing the take well enough, and I was like, no, you have to walk over him. Like, it doesn't look like you're hitting him, you just look like you're walking away, like in the other direction. So I'm like, no, actually walk like over him, like your whole body over him. And then Phil just falls. Like, we shot those simultaneously. The fall shot where he actually, you see him fall on the ground, it was like my phone or like Trisha's phone or something, because we needed an extra camera so we didn't have to reshoot that constantly. It was just take after take with 2 camera angles. So Tom never even touched Phil, which is the best part. It was just an implied death, and that's how I planned it all along. And I'm very proud.
Yeah, I got to keep it open for a sequel.
Yeah. He could have been revived, okay? You see, and a lot of people don't realize this either. When we shot Tom, when we shot in the room he's sitting in right now, that the intro and the outro were actually shot in that room he's sitting in right now. In one of the other corners, we set up a TV and a VCR. That was actually Tom pushing in the VHS. There it is. I'll get there.
Is your naked mushroom lamp in there?
It is. It's like behind me
I
to the
was,
side.
yeah. And so we took a few minutes to do those 2 shots, and yeah, we put it's kind of dark. I don't even know if you can see it in the video, because it is both literally very dark in the shot, but also very dark metaphorically. We put the wig on top of the VCR to imply that he scalped him. And I don't know if
That's where we got the wig.
Yeah, that was the whole reason. That was why I bought a wig, is because I wanted for that implication in the beginning and the end. Now y'all are gonna go back and watch the binge video and find it. But the mask,
I honestly didn't
is
even
there.
know that until you said it, like
Do you remember
6
my
months
idea?
ago.
Do you remember my idea for the wig as well? That never made it.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I wanted there to be a scene where I was like standing behind Phil, and like Phil was like on the ground, kind of like out of it. And then I just kept pulling different things out of my pockets to like beat him with, but you couldn't see Phil. You just see me like hitting him with like, I pull a hammer out.
Yes, I do remember that.
Out, and then I was gonna pull a knife out and pull the hair up and put it on my head. But we never got to
We
it.
never got to that. I don't think I would have loved that, but I don't think it would have made sense anywhere necessarily.
No, not at all. It just would have been hilarious.
As if the video makes sense anyway. We're just gonna shoot in the middle of the woods. Like, why is this band shooting on somebody's property? Clearly,
You
they're
guys were
unsafe.
like, we need to shoot a video. It's like, I have woods. Perfect.
I don't even know, Tom. I was like, we need to shoot a video, and I think I need your property, and I definitely need you. Like, I pretty much, I don't even think I told the band about the idea. I think I came to you, Tom, first about it, because obviously you being on board was the biggest piece of the whole puzzle.
Yeah.
Because if you
Right.
weren't on board, it didn't matter. Didn't matter what I told the band if you weren't on board. But I knew in my heart that you would be hugely on board for all of that. Yeah, and so we do have a band channel. Today was kind of last minute, and I had already planned to stream on my personal channel today. But there is a band channel that you can see a lot of us on all the time. It is ELSIE BINX. Trish is putting it in the chat right meow. That is where you can find us every single Thursday, with the exception of the next 2 Thursdays. That's holidays and gigs and things. But normally we are there every single Thursday evening at 7 p.m. What was
Kevin, Jonny, and I also stream on our
Yes.
own channels. Lots of channels.
And Command Members is where you will find all of
nice.
their. Yes, I made that today so we could easily link to the rest of the channels. But yeah, believe it or not, we have more questions. I was kind of looking at maybe an hour and a half total, just in case anybody had shit to do. I know y'all are busy. I didn't want to take up hours and hours of your time. Just FYI.
It's already been an hour and 15 minutes.
I know.
Wow.
Evan EBX Faces of Death. Yes, Beta, today is Saturday and I'm streaming. Yes. There I know.
Hi,
I've confused
Beta.
everybody. Beta. So other questions. So JD Wolf asked why the title is Madness, the record. And I know that it was because originally Kevin really wanted the title to be Descent into Madness, but
Or Descent.
This is kind of a two-part question, because Jove asked another question that actually has to do with the answer to this question. And Jove asked, was it intentional to have all one-word titles, or did that just happen? So do you see what I'm saying? Both of these questions are like kind of the same answer, and the answer is none of it was on purpose, I think.
It started out not on purpose.
Yeah.
And then it became on purpose.
That's true. The title accounts for the circumstances in which the album was made. You are absolutely right. It kind of was madness in a way. We had all sorts of shit coming from every single direction, and it was a lot. Sadness. It should have been called Sadness.
Oh, no.
But yeah, all the demos, I think that almost all the demos were just one word. And I don't know. I don't think it was on purpose. Honestly, I don't think any of them were even
I
shortened.
think we noticed the pattern, and then anything after that, we decided to make one word.
Yeah. The only one that was a conversation that I recall, but again, please correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. I think Darren really wanted it to become alive, and I was like, nah, there's not going to be one song on the record that has 2 words. Like, I'm like, if we're going one word, we're going one word. But I think Descent was the only other one that we were talking about, Descent into Madness. But all the other ones were one word naturally, I think.
Yeah.
Kevin, you're muted. I think you fat thumbed it.
Kevin, you're muted.
Still muted.
You're still muted.
I don't know. Where's my mouse? Oh, there you go.
I don't know what happened.
I don't either.
Or we thought about Run Fast.
Oh,
I think-
yes.
I think at some point then we just made a conscious effort to just do one word.
Yeah.
Like they had all become one word for naturally, and then we were gonna have a couple that were gonna be, Descent into Madness. You're like, no, fuck that. We'll Descent, and then the record could be Madness, I guess.
I think that was one of, I don't know if it was my idea, but I do remember kind of dying on that hill a little bit. Like, let's compromise. Let's call the record Madness, and let's call the song Descent. Because that's what the game was that Phil wrote it after, was Descent.
You and I were both kind of against having a title track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want, I'm usually kind of against that in general. I dislike when people do that. I don't know why I have that preference. I haven't really dug into that.
Yeah. I have the same thing, honestly.
Same.
Where it's like, I'd prefer not to have a title track.
Yeah. Unless it's a single,
It
of
feels
course.
lazy to me.
And then
Yeah.
then we did a show with Liliac, and they had their new record came out, and it was the same name as our
Yeah, that's crazy.
that was
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I say those questions and answers are actually kind of the same thing, because it was intentional, but then at some point it wasn't intentional, and then at some point it kind of took a turn into being intentional.
Madness.
Yeah, Madness felt, as soon as whoever said it, whoever suggested it, I honestly don't remember. I was like, yes, Yes, I love that. The song can be Descent. The album should be Madness. And that's honestly like what felt right to me. So I was going to die on that hill. A lot of people know that I will not die on many hills, but if there is something I feel really strongly about, I absolutely will push for it. And there's not usually that many things, but that was one of them.
For a very long time, I was under the assumption it was going to be Champagne Assault.
Honestly, same.
I
Honestly,
really
same.
thought it was going to be Champagne Assault.
Well,
Yep.
because we hadn't come up with anything better at that point.
Yeah, that was
Right.
a working title
Yeah.
for the album.
But I think there were some people who really didn't like it.
Oh, yes, there absolutely was.
But Champagne Assault had nothing to do with the back bar, did it?
Oh, yeah. No, not at all.
It is a great name, though. It's a great title for something.
I still want to write
First
that
song.
song. I don't know what
First
that
song?
song is, but I need to write it. Okay, so I feel like we should actually probably come back and tell that story a little bit. So Champagne Assault became we were just joking about it being the next record after it happened. It happened, the literal Champagne Assault. I'm not exaggerating. We were assaulted with champagne on stage.
On stage.
Tom was there too.
Was.
And New Year's Eve 2019 going into 2020, we were in Wisconsin at the back bar. And the owner, bless his heart, such a nice human, let us stay there when our RV did not have a working generator, let us plug into the building and stay there for 2 days. We were allowed to rehearse on their stage while they were closed, right? Like,
And we were training a new bass player, too.
yes.
New Year's.
And it was, we were playing the New Year's gig. And so again, bless his heart. Very, very lovely human. Just didn't really think through his actions this one moment in time. And at midnight, he came on stage, shaking a bottle of champagne, and then
Oh, he passed out little bottles, too, to everybody.
yeah, and told everybody to shake them right at the front of the stage. Guess who's in the front of the fucking stage? Me and my phone doing the countdown for midnight because, you know, you
And
kinda,
everybody's equipment.
and everybody's
All
equipment.
The Helixes.
Yeah, the Helixes luckily did not get
is
hit that
digital.
bad. But it was very bad. And I was so unhappy because we did not have access to showers for a couple days. So I was very sticky and my hair was very long at the time and I could not wash it. And I had champagne. My phone was drowned in champagne. Luckily, my phone was the only thing that took a hit, I think.
I was so proud of the way you reacted because I was like, oh, what is she going to do?
It could have been a lot worse.
So much worse.
Y'all are lucky that Wedding Erin still existed then. That wouldn't have
John
gone.
and I were just like Jay and Silent Bob in the corner. I just looked at him and went, WTF! And he just gave me the big eyes. I was like, okay, this is happening.
Yeah. It was not good. And this was obviously New Year's in Wisconsin, dead of winter. A sink shower would
Freezing.
not have done it because no, that would not have done it at that point because we just had access to their public bathrooms at the time. And yeah, it was gross. And so we joked about the Champagne Assault actually making it to the title of something at some point. But I think I'm the only one
maybe that
truly
could
scarred
be-
from that.
That could be the song that talks about the things being left in random places.
I don't think
wanna
I
run that one.
what? Yeah, I don't know that I even want to write that song anymore. Like I'm totally over it. I tried and I hated it and I moved on. Like I don't care enough to even try that again. Like I just get burnt out on certain ideas, you know what I mean? But yes, there are still more questions if y'all want to help answer them.
Yeah.
Let me find my place. So Addie Van had a great question because I have played demos of the record on my stream a handful of times. Addie Man asked, when it came to the different versions of Demons, was there a moment when you thought that the AC/DC version would be a great to make the final version? We were
Never.
really, I was split
Well,
on this.
I think we're split on this.
We were split on this.
Erin and I both really like that version still.
I do.
And I would still like to record it.
I think we're
I
the
like
only
them
two.
both.
I mean, I think I was the one that was pretty adamant on changing the arrangement. No.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
don't dislike it. I like them both for different reasons.
Yeah, I really liked where it went, from where it was at. Because yeah, originally
It's like
it
poison.
it came from a song that
Yeah.
I had with one of my first bands when I was like 16. And then I was like, I don't know, maybe we can use it because I just I thought it was cool, but I'm like, it's definitely what I had originally for vocals was I was like, that doesn't fit with any of this. And yeah, I think I really like the way that it ended up.
I
We
love
ended up
both
with-
versions.
We ended up with a horn section in the studio to record something else. And I just said, hey, before you guys leave, I got this quick little part, right?
Just quick, just something quick. So we have like 3 of the best horn players in town on that track. And I personally really love the original version of Demons, but I have no issues with the version that ended up being Crying, that is Aerosmith. And that's fine. I love that version too. I was resistant to the change though. I was hugely resistant to the change because I really liked that first version of it.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
that first version for you and I think we really like it. For me, it was very Hanson, which I love, and I know you love.
Yeah.
I
So
really,
I still really I like them both.
Yeah.
yeah, I think I liked like the demo that we did for it mostly because I think it was acoustic.
It was. Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like if we did like do it all electric, it would have turned very Aerosmith. I mean, not Aerosmith, very
AC/DC.
like AC/DC, like
Maybe
Poison.
that's the answer. Next
Wait.
time we do an acoustic record, let's redo it in the other way, but acoustic.
I would honestly love to do an Electric Baby Part 2. Like,
Yeah.
I know that like takes a back seat to moving forward with rock, obviously, but like the selfish side of me would really love to do that again. And I'm
I
just
think
saying,
Goddess would be great acoustic as well.
yes, yeah, Goddess always felt in that way, kind of swampy and acoustic.
Oh yeah, another EAI but with strings.
The Part 3. Good God, we can't do that. I don't want a Part
No.
3. No.
The Unforgiven.
Oh my God. I absolutely. But yeah, I have played that original Demons demo a couple times on stream. And what's funny about that, Jonny, is that it's so recycled, but for you, and it's actually finally got out one of the melodies that was in my phone for probably 10 years. I used a chorus that I wrote a million years ago, and it was so satisfying to finally use it. Because it was one of those demos where you wake up in the middle of the night and go, and it sounded terrible. But I kept it in my head for probably 10 years, legit only like at least 10 years. And so when I heard it, I was like, oh my God, I can make this make sense. And that just, I think that's why Demons lives very important to me because it finally like it scratched an itch for me that I needed to get out. And hi and bye. I know I haven't said hi and bye to anybody in chat, so just know that I see
Bye,
you.
Sita. Hi, Titi.
Yeah, I see you, and I appreciate y'all. But yeah, chatting takes the priority. IRL chatting takes the priority. But I see you, and I promise I appreciate you all. But yeah, there are still more questions.
Yes.
Still, I love this. Jove had a great question. What are everybody's? What are everyone's thoughts on non-obvious song titles like Harass, Joker, and K-Bye? Song titles that never happen in a song. Do you like them? Do you hate them? How do you feel about them? I've never been asked that question
What was
before.
the second one?
Harass, Joker, and K-Bye. Well, actually, Joker
is mentioned in
Joker
there.
actually is in the song. As you said that,
But
I'm
it's,
like,
yeah, you would think the song would be called Why.
Yeah.
You
why?
Flies by.
Look at a band like Stone Temple Pilots. I don't know that there is one reference to the song title within any of their songs.
Yeah.
It's very rare.
Make
Yeah.
it hard. It does make it hard and confusing. For
I
people.
I know when I joined ELSIE BINX, there's not a ton of them, but there's a handful. I think there's like 2 or 3 on That's What She Said. There's a handful of them that are in there, and I know I used to bug John. I'd be on stage and I'd be like,
What's
how
up?
does this one go? And we're like trying to pull in ears to talk to each other. And he's like, it's ba da 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 da. I'm like, oh yeah. Like it was that as somebody that's like hopped into a band, it makes it more confusing. But as
Yeah.
a whole, like I kind of think it's more, there's more like whimsy to it when you're like, this isn't even in the song. Like I like it. It's
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm in the same thing, like, because yeah, as a listener for like other music, specifically like STP, where I'll be like, what the fuck song is this? I'm
Yep.
like, you're like, do you know Interstate Love Song? I'm like, maybe which one is that? But I do really like it for
Me
some
too.
reason.
Yeah,
I
I
think it
think
is
we
because of that, where you try to like, especially with like a lot of like rap stuff I listen to does that too, where it's
Yeah.
like you'll try to like see the title and be like, okay, and like try to fit what meaning you get out of it from that title and the lyrical content. So it's
Yeah.
kind of cool. You can make up kind of your own meaning in a sense. Leaves a
Yeah,
little
that-
more open.
Joe said sugar dog. Like that's cool because no, you don't say sugar dog in the song, but if you know the story of sugar dog and who it refers to, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I like it because it's like an inside joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it forces somebody to ask the question, and you have to choose to want to learn more. And I think it kind of helps suck people in sometimes. But yeah, from a learning perspective, Tom, I'm sorry I made your life sometimes hell.
I learned
Honestly,
quick, but
that's what she
it's not-
said though. Those songs are even more. They're a little. There's a more connection there. Like look out. Like
So
it's
actually,
sort of known. Like there's a little more connection.
That's what she said. I had not written anything for that record except for You Can't, Before I'm Dead, and Sugar Dog. All the rest were demos that had titles, and I made it a point to write the demo title into the song, regardless of what it was about.
Yeah.
It was a game that I played with myself. And so those were the actual titles of the demos, and I just made it make sense, basically.
Cool.
So it's amazing that I even made sense of some of them. But yeah.
Like I went back and forth a lot with Harass about whether it should be Harass or Sarah.
Yeah.
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 But I think we made the right choice.
I love Harass because it's spelled wrong. And then if you look at it closely, you have to go, wow, like why would they spell that wrong? So you have to really ask the question, did they spell that wrong?
Yeah.
How many
And then
people
there's
had to
one
see
line
that?
that's like won't even sing your name, and I thought that was the clincher for me in making the
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked that.
Her ass, Joey. Yes. Her ass. Exactly. And so I love the non-obvious titles. And honestly, like I don't even know where Sugar Dog came from. I think it was like some just thing that lived in my head. Because like sweet, like you have this sweet facade, but also like you're sometimes an asshole. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and if Tay were here, I would said the same thing. I would never talk shit behind Tay's back. We had a very strained relationship when we were teenagers. Yeah, sugar bitch just isn't the same, you know? Not
Well,
the same.
because you also were like your bark is bigger than your bite.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah. And so honestly, like you have already thought way more about that than I have. I like I don't know when I actively called it Sugar Dog. Same with Seymour. I had no title for that. And Sugar Rat is gross, yeah. But yeah, like Seymour, I had no idea what to name that song, and I didn't want it to be Need Your Pain or like, you know what I mean? Like the hook. I hate it when the title is the hook. Like, no, be more creative. Try harder. Like, you can do better. You're already a musician. Like, try harder. You can do this.
I think that's another reason I like it is because it shows like you've taken effort to like
Yeah.
rather than just like, oh, this is the hook of the song. This is what we're gonna name it. Like,
Yeah.
But do people realize that Seymour and Feed Me have some correlation there?
A lot of people actually have, I will say, in the age of Twitch in the last, 3.5 years, we have had people actually go, is this a reference to Little Shop of Horrors? Like, I actually have had people put it together.
because it's such a unique name and it's such an iconic type association
Me.
between the name and that
Yeah.
that show.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
It's still my favorite.
Yeah.
Aaron.
Yes.
Have you got any weird questions about Mean Girls? Like the obvious, like, is that about that movie?
No, but
I'll be right back.
you good.
Hi.
I'm gonna talk some shit for a second, but it's gonna be anonymous shit, okay?
Do it.
I've never had somebody ask me if it was about the movie. I think
I know what
most
you're gonna say.
I know you do. I've never had anybody ask me about if it's about the movie. I think if you've listened to it and you started listening to the lyrics and you get it, then you're not going to ask. You know what I mean? And if you don't get it, then you're also not going to ask.
Right.
Like what the hell is this song about? But I did have a very close friend that all of you know. So a former friend, now I would call an acquaintance, but she used to be a very, very good friend. Trish just started cracking up.
Got it.
And and she thought that I wrote the song about her.
She's so vain.
And I'm not
Exactly.
gonna say who it is. I think everybody on screen knows who I'm.
I
Well,
know
Tom might
who it-
not actually. Maybe you
She
do.
was really
I don't know.
offended. She thought we were making fun of her for
She-
complaining all the time
Oh,
about
we
Mean
make
Girls.
fun of
And
her.
I was at her house. This was actually early 2020. This happened right as like lockdown started happening in China, and I was out of state on vacation with Tay. And so like we were staying at her house in a different state, and like this is like midnight. We're drinking wine and like having a good time, and it comes up that like something about just like how people are very two-faced, and like she can't understand how people could do that. And I was like, I brought up Mean Girls. I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what Mean Girls is about. Like, that's what the movie's about. It's what Mean Girls is
I
about.
don't think she's ever seen the movie, to be honest.
I don't know. And she was like, well, yeah, isn't it about me? Like, straight up, yeah, isn't it about me? And I, man, yeah. And
Because this person would post a lot about how she thinks so many girls are mean.
yes.
And so she thought we were making fun of her.
Yes. And so that pretty much was like the clincher for me. After we left her house and came back from vacation, I haven't really spoken to her again for many, many reasons. This was not just the only reason. Very toxic energy from this particular person. And yeah, it was, I will say that's the only time it was a mistaken meaning behind Mean Girls. And that was really personal. Like, she legit thought that I wrote a fucking song about her. Yeah. And if any of you on screen are wondering who it is, I'll tell you after, but
That question was not scripted.
no.
She thinks that when she's performing, everybody's looking at her and they're all throwing daggers at her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd complain about getting dirty looks when she would perform.
Yes. And she's, and again, the last thing I'll say about her is that she's one of the people that when you walk into a room and somebody starts laughing, she assumes it's about her. And that's, I would hate to live in a brain like that. And
Yeah.
it's just something that I can't, I could no longer associate with. I can no longer be friends with. So we just kind of allowed our relationship. Like, it's easy to do when you live kind of across the country too. She left
And then
Michigan.
there's a quarantine happening.
And then there's a quarantine. So that was kind of an easy way out for me. And I have not looked in that direction again. We've texted briefly about a couple health things, but like, other than that, yeah, Armut, yeah, the narcissism is real. So yeah, fun fact that I think not really many people knew that. And I won't drag her through the mud. Like, I won't say who it is because she's a very talented musician, extremely talented. But that music comes from a really dark fucking place, man. Really dark place. But yeah, that's a good question, Tom. That's a great question.
Really dark.
You did not bank on that.
Nope, not at all.
But usually live, you pretty much always explain that it's about the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's a meme song. Like, it's a stupid song. It's
You
real
put it out on Mean
dumb.
Girls Day.
Yeah, right. And we put it out on Mean Girls Day. Now there's going to be another Mean Girls movie, which is hype. So I get to
I'm really
relive
hoping
it.
It's gonna blow up on TikTok again.
Yeah. If anything, I might like run, if like production meeting, I might take some of our
Ads.
funds and run some shit on like TikTok and stuff with, because it might you know? Like,
People, I think it's been used like over 500 times on TikTok already.
yeah, like it's our most used song on TikTok, easily. Easily. It's hard to get momentum going on TikTok, but that song has a little bit of momentum. But yeah, it's a meme song, but it's one of my favorites. I forget, like, so that is obviously one of the ones Tom is on. When did we put that song out? 2018?
2019.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure maybe it was 2018.
It was
No,
right
2019.
after everything about it.
Okay, so if it could have been the same year. It could have been 2018 then.
I think
Okay.
it was 2018 because it was right after everything about it.
I know we played
Yeah.
it for forever before we recorded it.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Like,
was
I
on.
was playing that song at rehearsals where I was still learning stuff.
Yeah. Whoops.
We were like in the middle of like finishing writing it. It was already a song before I got there, but like I helped finish it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we gigged that song for like a whole year before we recorded it.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Mean Girls was really like the first, I would say, like everything about it was kind of right before the melding of everybody, but Mean Girls kind of really solidified that particular lineup melding, if that makes sense.
I think that was one of
Yeah.
the first like original keyboard parts I put down.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh, Kevin, for anybody who doesn't know, Kevin's house is a kennel, and that's like not even a joke. His fiance quite literally has a doggy daycare in their house. So if you hear some barking, and then his phone barks when it rings, which is even better.
Aggressive.
Aggressively barks. That shit is never on silent. Okay. It just
It always happens to be right next to his mic in the control room when you
Yeah.
have viewers on. And he's like,
yeah.
yeah.
I have
That is a great question, S Mac.
yeah. It was what about harassed as the subject of that song? Wait, is the subject of that song aware that they've been written about? I don't think so.
The answer is, I mean, ultimately, I don't know because we have blocked each other out of our lives. We do have mutual friends who know. The majority of them love the song. There was one girl, I made a post about it, and one girl that is still pretty close with her came after me on social media and in my DMs about it, and saying, well, she could sue you if she was a better person. And I was like, okay. She's not a great person and she doesn't have the money to sue me. And there's nothing really that she could win out of it. So I don't know. The only way she would know it is if someone told her.
Yeah. And it's possible.
And I'm not sure anybody would really want to be that mean and honestly, I feel like if anyone brought my name up to her, she'd get mad the fact that my name was even brought up. So
yeah. Chances are she doesn't know. I don't know if anybody knows if, like, I think Matt is the only person who actively knows that there's like most of a record written about him.
yeah, the one Goddess is about, I'm pretty sure he doesn't know that it's about him. Joker doesn't know he's about him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever even heard it. So
yeah, I'm real quick to tell people unless I don't speak to them anymore. So yeah, I don't think one of the more toxic dudes knows that Break is partially about him because I certainly didn't tell him. I would love if somebody did though. Actually, like, hey, Tom
that
would.
goes way back too, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like, way back.
I wrote Break about Elizabeth, one of my high school bullies. And then I kind of revamped the verses before I even sent the demo to the band because I was unhappy with the verses, and I rewrote those, and those are about Mike 100%.
Oh really? I thought they were about the dude that Elizabeth was like getting entangled with.
Nah, that was Elizabeth on her own. That guy's name was Tom though, ironically. Not this Tom. Don't worry, I didn't break up with Tom. No, how dare I would never. Joe had a great question. I'm going to open it up to everybody. It was specifically for Tom, but I do want everybody to answer too. And Joe's question for Tom was, what is your favorite performance memory with us?
Man, you did a lot. I mean, really great time playing at the Whiskey, that's for sure. Like that was awesome. Some of my favorite stuff, I think it was more like periods of performances. Like when we got back from that second tour, we were so tight, it was insane. We had a really good like run of performances right after that, where we were like opening for really good bands and having good shows, and like we were just super tight. It was unstoppable. That was my favorite. Like nothing like in particular really sticks out, but just like those periods of time.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about too. Probably 2019.
Yeah, somewhere in there for sure.
Well,
yeah.
It's interesting you mentioned after that second tour, because I honestly, I feel like for about 4 weeks after that tour, we as a group were probably in one of the worst places we'd ever been.
True.
As a group.
I would
where
say
Diamond
personally.
came from was from that era. But yeah, we did end up getting really, I think, bonded closer after that. And playing, because we were playing so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up each other's asses.
Yeah.
We were living in an RV together.
Yeah. A lot of the time. Which is good and is also bad.
Yeah, I would agree. That was probably my favorite time period, like the summer of 2019 through the beginning of 2020.
Yeah. Well, the beginning of 2020 did not start well for me.
No, I'm just saying, like, as a group, like,
I don't know that I have any favorite performances. I have a lot of least favorite performances.
It's not the question.
I know it's
it
not
is
the
hard
question.
to think of like single performances.
It is, because there's an inconceivable amount of gigs we've played. I couldn't even estimate how many gigs we've played since 2016. Like
I have favorite places we've been, but it's not because of necessarily the gig. Like I loved Atlantic City, that was my favorite. But the gig wasn't like spectacular. It was just like a bar. Like
yeah.
Yep. It's a stereotypical. They all just melt into one at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Every Machine Shop show was.
Oh yeah.
True. 100%.
Yeah.
True, every time we play Machine Shop is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not everybody can say that about like a hometown place. Like, yeah. For anybody who's wondering, Tom lives right nearby the Machine Shop. Actually, it's a place out in Flint, Michigan, and the place is packed no matter who is playing. And it's always the best situation for us because the fan retention is really high there. Like I will see the highest engagement. Huh?
We're just close enough to still be kind of local, but
yeah,
to where they haven't heard of us yet. We're far enough to where they haven't heard of us, so we gain a lot of new fans.
Yes, exactly. I think that happened in Saginaw too, because we just played in Saginaw last week, and I saw a lot of good fan retention on our social media there too. A lot of follows, a lot of new engagement.
This coming show too.
I think so too. That was a great segue. Can I? We have a show next Thursday in Wyandotte for the first time ever. Yeah, Jove. It was a good show. We'll be back at the Machine Shop.
For sure.
Shaginaw. We'll be back at the Machine Shop. Who knows when? We only get to play there maybe a couple times a year. It is like prestigious almost to get accepted onto one of those shows. Yeah. We've only ever played there 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
3.
And that was actually where Tom came to see us. I don't remember which show it was.
Darren's first show.
Zero.
Oh, Darren's first show is where Tom came to see us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Machine Shop is quite historical for us in that way. I love that. I love that for us.
That show was like 4 days after I wrote Harass.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go.
Oh, you're good. I was going to end the call pretty shortly anyway, because we've been on for almost 2 hours now, which was not what I banked for.
I got to mow my lawn, and Johnny, I'll meet you at 6 o'clock, eh?
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining, Kev.
Thanks for having me.
Talk to you soon.
See y'all later. Bye.
Oh,
Bye.
what's at 6?
Yeah, what's at 6, Johnny?
I'm recording some guitars for a new Chris Mails solo project song.
So, Kevin, oh, bye.
See you.
He's trying to leave, y'all. He can't leave. He's stuck.
Kick him out.
He's stuck forever. Oh, there you go. Just kidding.
Fine, that can stay.
It's fine. Everything's
I love that.
Yeah, I think I'll be
Oh.
eventually involved with the Chris Miles project. I think I'm probably just going to be doing vocal coaching per usual, I believe. Also,
Nice.
so I'm looking at this screen, and Tom is just naturally bigger than Jonny and Jen, and I have no idea why. It's just you're like
I
this
can switch
huge.
back.
I don't know why. He dislikes texting. Yes, he only uses snail mail. But honestly, like that kind of wraps everything up perfectly. Like I got through all the questions. We kind of hit everything that everybody wanted to know.
We got a bonus with Tom.
We got a bonus. Tom answered the
Yeah.
phone. What's funny is I almost texted you separately, Tom, and was like, by the way, like I want you to know.
bonus.
Yeah, crappy bonus. Instead of Phil, we got Tom, but that's okay.
I just replaced Phil again.
God damn it. Without even trying to.
Damn it.
Oh, hi, Kevin. Thought you had shit to do. Welcome back. Yes, Kevin does production streams. Yes, Jen on stream. Jen right here, EBX Jen. If you do command members like Trish just did in the chat, EBX Jen is right here. She streams music. EBX Jonny underneath that, he also streams music in some games. If Tom gets his shit together, maybe he'll stream again.
Yeah, maybe. I should probably do that.
That'd be so dope. In case you want to follow Tom, his name is Batman Bass Slap. You will see him in all of our chats.
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah, that's your name every damn place.
Everywhere. I'm the only one.
Yeah, the only Batman Bass Slap. So in case Tom starts streaming again, oh my god, I'm
just
not
followed
following you.
Tom.
Whoa.
Yeah, I need to follow Tom.
None of us were.
Oh my gosh, I'm following you now too.
Damn.
Damn, we're bad
friends are doing
friends. We're bad friends.
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure. But yeah, I didn't mean to chat for 2 hours, but I'm more than grateful that y'all made the time to do so. Thank you all in chat as well. We're gonna continue on and play through Madness as well for the next couple hours as well. Yes. So thank you all for taking the time. Seriously, claps to
And
you.
that's what interviewers tell us all the time is like, wow, you guys are so responsive and easy to talk to. Most bands, we have to like pull teeth to get them to talk.
Yeah, and that's why it's never stressful for me as somebody who tries to keep the conversation going. I don't have to try to keep the conversation going with y'all at all. Like, y'all do the work for me, except for this one moment when you just look at me like, what?
We're really doing
More likely that we're interrupting each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you? I don't know how to say that word. Loquacious.
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 Gracious.
Is that that's a word that belongs in Betty Davis eyes? Just saying. I'm gonna start adding that word into Betty Davis eyes.
She's loquacious.
Exactly. See? So I'm going to hang up the call begrudgingly, but thank you all seriously for your time, and happy Madness Day for us getting our record back from bad people.
Right.
And yeah,
Bad people.
bad annoying people.
Tom took care of him.
Yeah.
Yes. He killed those guys. It's fine. But I love your faces. I'll see all of you very shortly.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye, everybody.